So we're here with Donald Cerrone ahead of his fight against Tony Ferguson at UFC 238, and I was looking at your record, trying to piece together like anything that maybe Tony does that past opponents have had, and history shows you don't do that great against southpaws. Is there anything specific that they bring to the table, or is it just more difficult preparing for them, or what is it?
He's not really a true southpaw. He switches a lot, so. But hey, he's unorthodox. He's wild. He's going to bring the fight. It's going to be fun.
And back in December, you had said you wanted to start like an amateur fight league. Is that still going on? Or are you still trying to start that?
Yeah, it's already started as the Cowboy fight series, so it's going. We're about to have our second show coming up, and it's going good.
What was the thought of wanting to do that? Is it something that you've always wanted to do, or the right people came along and they're like, hey, do you want to do this?
No, I am the right people, so there wasn't anybody else. But just a chance to help these guys out, man. Help pave their way. We're gonna start at the amateur, build them up pro, and then hopefully get them in the right direction to make it here one day.
Did you ever think Tony was a realistic opponent for your next fight? I mean, he was going through what he was going through. This is a pretty quick turnaround from when they announced the fight to the actual fight. When you're putting a list of names of possible opponents, was Tony on that list?
I didn't even know he was back. I had no clue. They called me and offered me. I said, yeah, sure. But I don't really look too far ahead like that and think, who could be next? I just say yes.
And it's title fight or bust after this, correct? A lot of people say, like, well, if Cowboy wins, he's just going to fight Conor.
I doubt Conor will take that fight, but it's title fight.
Is it because of you, or is the new ESPN pay-per-view like format, or is it just Conor doesn't want to fight?
I don't have an answer to that. No clue. They offered me his name a couple times, and I just sit and wait, and he says no.
Before it was always with you, it was about the fight. The title wasn't always in the forefront of your mind. It seemed like since your son was born and you wanted to go back down to lightweight, your mind shifted. Was it because of your son that you were like, you know what? Title means more money means more security for my family.
I don't know if it's all that or if it's just time. I've matured a lot as a fighter, I can see the end of the tunnel now, man, so I don't know how many more years I got left in this. And before, like I said, I just wanted to fight. I love fighting, and I think that's the last step I need to do, and my legacy is be the greatest with the title.
What advice would you give to some of these younger guys? Like, if the Donald Cerrone today, what would you give these young guys? What would you say to them?
Don't change a fucking thing, champ. Just fight your ass off and keep on going.
And you said you could see the light at the end of the tunnel. How close is the light to the tunnel?
Oh, man, I have no idea. I'm going to fight till they don't let me anymore, but I imagine 5 or 6 years, but I'm not young anymore. I'm not 21, I'm 36 now, so I'd imagine in my 40s I'll be done, but I'm going to keep trying, go until they don't let me.
And lightweight historically hasn't had a lot of title defenses. I think the record is 3 straight title defenses. Is the division ready for an active champion like yourself?
So I'm going to tell these guys, be ready, because I'm ready to fight as often as we can. So I'm going to keep the title. Yeah, we're real stale always at the top of 55, but it's going to change.
Thank you.
I look at this fight, and you guys are, in a way, not carbon copies, but you guys have a lot of similarities. When you watch him, do you see a younger Donald Cerrone?
I don't watch him, but...
What you do when you've seen him fight?
Yeah, I mean, he loves to fight. He's crazy just like me, so it's gonna be fun.
Do you think a 5-round fight would have benefited you more?
I think it would have, yeah. I get stronger and harder as the rounds go around, but 3 rounds is just as good, man. I don't care. It don't make no difference to me. I'd have fought first on the card. I'd have fought last. It makes no difference.
Tony said he basically was called to save this card because they needed one big fight, and you were the guy they offered. He's like, yeah, this is the fight to save the card. Did you have that sense too?
Sounds like a good statement, doesn't it?
Does it surprise you that interest has peaked so much for this card? I talked to someone here right after they announced the fight went on sale, and they said it's like an extra 5,000 tickets sold just because your fight was announced. Do you feel this is, because it feels like this is the real main event of the show?
I mean, it's cool to be sitting here with that honor, right? I mean, to know that they put us on last minute and then we still able to sell the tickets, so it's cool.
One question.
You talk about getting older and stuff. How is what have you learned about weight cutting as far as maturing, I guess? So I'm sure it sucks just as much as it did back then, but what's the difference, I guess?
I got to give a lot of credit to the UFC PI, man. The new system they have with making sure that we stay on track and feeding us and make sure the hydration is all there. that's played a real key factor, and so I contribute a lot to their health for sure.
Essentially, hydration was the big one, you think?
Hydration and just making sure you eat right, correctly throughout the day. They plan all your meals, and it's just nice. Other than going to the restaurant with my friends, trying to think what I should maybe eat, and then I pick their shit. So it's a lot easier as I'm just give you a little box, eat it, and go on about your day.
Thank you.